Listen to the unofficial voice of World Cup 2006, brought to you by Times Online and Avalon in association with the Dodge Caliber.
Welcome to Germany. You're listening to Baddiel and Skinner. Deutschland, 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 Deutschland.
Hello and welcome to Baddiel and Skinner's World Cup podcast.
Hello. Today we'll be finding out how David James almost lost us the Paraguay game.
And Sven-Göran Eriksson will be telling us about his telephone conversation with Sir Alex Ferguson.
We'll be finding out how a mate of mine got to sing in the opening ceremony.
And we'll be getting the inside story on Prince William's World Cup party.
I can't wait.
So England have won the first game, we're off, we're rolling, and we've got mixed feelings, haven't we, about the game, I think?
Well, I don't know. After the first sort of 5 minutes, I was really up, obviously, when we scored. I thought, right, this is going to be a cakewalk, I thought. And maybe, yeah, it's true, England are going to win the World Cup. And then I started to get that really tense, uneasy feeling that I recognise so well from England games of, oh no, we're not.
Yes.
They're going to score. It's going to be a 1-1 draw against Paraguay, and that'll be a bit rubbish. And then we're going to struggle. We didn't in the end.
But that was wrong.
But that's how I felt for almost the entire game.
Could own goals be? Could that win the Golden Boot if there was more own goals than any individual scored?
Well, only if one individual scored 6 or 7 own goals. I don't think
but I
own
wonder
goals.
If own goals, like the Unknown Soldier, there could be a special award to that.
Well, and there's some sort of monument to the own goal.
Yeah, well, I saw in the betting you could bet that England didn't have a scorer in the World Cup.
Yes.
And presumably that bet is still on.
Yeah, it was 40-1.
40-1 that no England player scored.
Yeah,
it'd be great if they went all the way to the final.
Just
It'd
on
be a
own
fabulous
goals.
double.
Yeah, it would. But you know, apparently it was very hot. That seems to be the main thing being said by Sven and by David Beckham. It was hot, but let's not forget we're in Germany, not exactly the land of the rising sun, not South Africa, where they're going to have to be playing next time, where they'll presumably melt.
Yeah,
because it was 28 degrees, which is quite hot, but I've seen hotter.
Yeah, they look sweaty.
Yeah, they looked a bit sweaty. Yeah,
but I think Crouch looked hot.
But they've played the hot card a bit too much, I would say.
Yeah, you're probably right.
See, Peter Crouch, I don't think should be so hot because the sun's rays apparently they can't get to him.
Well,
He's
if
so
they
thin.
really did, he'd look like one of those pepperoni men.
He's a bit nearer the sun, though. Having said that, isn't he?
Well, his head is, yeah.
Yeah. So,
but then again, if you go to say Mount Fuji, it's the top of it has got snow on, so suggests you get to a certain height where it gets cooler.
yeah, well, he should be quite cold in that sense.
He was rubbish today, don't you think?
Yeah, I think we've seen a very, very quick rise and fall with Peter Crouch. He's become a great national icon, then once again back down to being the ground zero of rubbish again. That happens so quickly.
I'll tell you what, the most interesting thing about him is he's 6'7" and he can't do headers.
No, he can't head the ball, and England haven't worked this out because what they decided to do for the most of the game, as far as I can make out, was knock the ball long to Crouchy.
And high.
And high, yeah. And sometimes he gets to it, but he doesn't know how to direct the ball, does he? It just hits his head and goes anywhere.
It's those kind of headers that hurt.
Yeah, it's like you heading the ball, or indeed me.
Exactly.
It's like closing your eyes.
And it sort of pulls the front of your hair a bit.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Because Crouchy's got a face that looks like he's in slight pain quite a lot of the time anyway. Did you see his publicity photo? Looked a bit like he was grimacing anyway.
Oh, the thing that come up at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, it looks a bit like he's saying ouch.
But Michael Owen was like running around trying to get like little head. He had no idea where the ball was going to go.
And I think there's a problem anyway because I think there's a myth now surrounding Peter Crouch, which is that the England team think he's taller than he is. Because if you've noticed, virtually all of their crosses were for a bloke 20 foot high.
Yeah.
And he's not 20 foot high, is
You
he?
can see how they're falling into that trap.
Yeah,
though.
they think he's the bloke in Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah, but more worryingly, they think he can do headers.
Yeah, they think he
which
can.
can't.
Well, Sven clearly thinks that's like a good policy.
There's a bloke that sits next to me at West Brom who if anyone does a really bad header like that, he always says, oh, he's got a head like a 50p piece. And that's what, because you don't know which side it's going to come off. And that's
I see.
It was hitting him in the face and
It
all
was.
sorts.
Well, I think there might be some kind of medical reason for why he's so bad at headers. For a start, I wonder if his neck isn't quite strong as a result of having to look down for most of his life. I think also he doesn't jump very much. Have you noticed that? He hardly ever jumps because he thinks, well, I'm tall enough.
He probably does, yeah. He resents having to jump.
But you need a bit of power in your header. If you don't jump, it's no good.
Yeah, I think he's worried about bursting the ball.
Also about landing on legs that might just snap. But I think the other problem as well is that sometimes the ball is hit and he has to bend down That happened quite a lot today.
Yeah.
And then you just think, oh, he's going to hit the defender's head and hurt himself.
It usually... Oh, man, it was bad. It was really bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alex Ferguson telephoned me. He said you can't pick Wayne Rooney. He has got an injury. He was not very nice and snarling. He said if that injury's aggravated, what will happen to Man United? Without Rooney we'll be shit and won't even win a Carling. I said, Alex, it's not up to you. The England manager gets to choose. He said, so what are you going to do? I said, pick the room, my darling. Pick the roo, pick the roo. You can't stop me, so that's what I'll do. I'm picking the roo, my darling. He said, but you ruin the kid. What about United's Champions League bid? I said, I'll be managing Real Madrid, so I'm picking the roo, my darling. Everybody pick the roo, pick the roo. You can't stop me, so that's what I do. I'm picking the roo, my darling. One more time. Pick the roo. What's yours? Pick the roo. You can't stop me, so that's what I do. I'm picking the roo, my darling. I'll tell you what I like as well was the Paraguayans' national anthem.
Yeah.
When they played that, and the England fans today, fair play to them, were very respectful to the national anthem.
Yeah.
And you know when you're trying hard to be nice, you still mess it up.
Yeah.
There was a kind of a false ending on, it's like the status quo national anthem. So it ended, and they all went woo, and then it went
It was incredibly long because we all cheered at that point. And the thing I got confused about is, and this may be very unfair, how much can you say about Paraguay? You know, it was already there'd been about 2 minutes, and presumably they're singing Paraguay, it's really nice, and there's dueling is legal, and then there's another 2 hours or so of national anthem. What are they talking about? If anyone can tell me, can write in and say what the lyrics are of the Paraguay national anthem.
The Paraguay national anthem. Maybe we could sing it on the show.
There was a brilliant moment as well, which I presume everyone saw at home, which is when Paul Robinson kicked the ball really, really, really high and hit the massive, great screen that hangs above the stadium, and the ball bounced back onto the pitch. I've never seen anything like that before.
I'll tell you something though. I don't know if you noticed this, but in the preamble to the game, in the warm-up, David James was messing about with the ball, and he deliberately walloped the ball and hit that big floating box above the stadium. And thought it was very funny. Like, no other players around. He just laughed himself, and some fans who were watching cheered.
Yeah.
I reckon he went into the dressing room. I mean, seriously now. I bet he went into the dressing room and said to Robinson, if you can hit that during the match, I'll give you whatever, 50 quid or something.
I bet that is true, because also Robinson, one of the things he's good at is kicking. So he probably thought, I'll have that, I should think. I'll have that off Calamity. But it looked amazing when it actually happened, because it seemed so high. And
it was like real tennis.
It was.
They should have played on.
But what would have happened if Robinson had done that and the ball had just bounced back over his head into his goal?
Well, had it been a goal kick? Was it a goal kick or a kick out of his hands?
It was a kick out with his hands.
That would have been a goal, I reckon.
Yeah, that would have been a goal, and then David James would have done another calamity without even been playing.
Yeah, by just leading him on. That would have been one of the great goals of all time.
It was quite a strange game from a refereeing point of view, because the ref also gave 3 foul throws.
Actually, can I just... Is it possible that media box could win the Golden Boot if that happened 7 or 8 times at the World Cup?
It'd have to be a great big boot.
The Golden Boot. It would win.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was you saying?
I said, well, the ref who we all thought was going to be a bit mental, but, was in fact probably fairly good in the end. But one thing he did, which was a bit strange, was he gave 3 foul throws. And I was moved to say after the first one, oh, you don't see many foul throws these days anymore. Which made you laugh.
People, if ever there's a foul throw, which is rare, someone always says, oh, you don't see that very often.
Yeah, well, I like to think of myself as a bloke who says things that are oft said in football.
But you see loads of foul throws that go, but that no one ever picks up on, but it's just allowed to go.
Well, I honestly haven't seen a foul throw. Certainly not a hat-trick.
No, but the referee doesn't... What I'm saying is the referee normally doesn't penalise, he just lets them do foul throws.
Maybe that's something that ref takes special pride in.
I think
foul throw.
Yeah, the FIFA directives are a good thing if they're going to put a stop to the foul throw.
Well, you actually applauded the third foul throw. Everyone else in the ground was booing. You decided to applaud it.
Well, that was his hat-trick. I thought he should be allowed to kick the match ball. The referee for giving 3 foul throws. I'll tell you what I didn't like today. The fact that the England fans were singing the national anthem during the game.
No, they've done that, but I've seen that before.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think God Save the Queen at the beginning, but I don't like them. There's no country that sings their national anthem as a chant.
No. There aren't any other countries, I don't think, that have their national anthem about, like, their head of state.
No, but I don't mind what it's about. I just think it's odd to sing it. You know, if you played Brazil and they suddenly started, say, halfway through the second half, going da 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 da. Actually, that wouldn't be bad. I've always liked
that'd be
that
fine. Also, if Paraguay started, it would last almost the whole of the game and extra time. So
they could have the false ending time that so it coincided with half time.
Yeah. That'd be fine.
There was 2 quite annoying blokes sitting behind us today.
Very
one of them was actually quite a nice bloke. Was a German bloke who seemed to know a lot about English football and was speaking in English. And I don't know if you heard this, but it really made me laugh. He said to the bloke, he said, well, if England play like this, they might win the game, but not the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah, I did hear him say that.
Who calls it the FIFA World Cup?
Well, plus I understand it, FIFA have now issued an official directive that anyone who says the World Cup has to preface it with words FIFA World Cup.
Oh, I could have
within 500 metres of every stadium, they have to say that. I can imagine that be the case. He was brilliant when he said that. His English mate, I didn't like him at all.
Well, anyway, we won.
Yeah, we won, and, you know, actually...
And Sweden drew with Trinidad and Tobago, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think things can only get better, as I believe Tony Blair once said. So, you know, it might be... I mean, the thing is Trinidad and Tobago now look...
Boy, was he wrong.
Yeah, he was wrong. But Trinidad and Tobago now look a bit better.
Well, I couldn't see them very well because there was a lot of like dandelion seeds
there was
blowing around.
Loads of dandelion
Because we watched that on the telly. It was like that pitch would be covered in dandelions.
Yeah. And if any of them have hay fever, it must have been terrible for them.
You couldn't see them through the dandelion seeds.
No, I can't. It was like, because you once said that Ken Russell looks like a big dandelion. Was it you who said that? Yeah, so it was as if Ken Russell's hair had suddenly blown all over the pitch.
Well, if England was blaming it being hot, I bet the Swedes would be saying, no, well, there were so many dandelion leaves. I mean, you know, not dandelion leaves, obviously.
Yeah,
it should be covered in rabbits.
Dandelion seeds everywhere there were.
But there was. I couldn't see them.
But it's a good result.
Of course, I could be wrong. People listening to this might say, no, that wasn't true. You know, sometimes you get those bits on your eyes
no,
float
really?
around.
Well, cataracts.
No, you get like bits of... They look like fluff and they float in the fluid of your eye.
Couldn't both have had them, though. Otherwise, something terrible's going on.
Well, perhaps we've caught them off sharing a pillow. Should I have said that?
No, don't say that, for goodness sake.
One thing that we've been asking our regular podcast listeners to send in is their football hour tunes, sort of romantic stories with a football theme. We've got a beautiful one this week. And now the last time we did it, I shouldn't say this week, I should say, we've got a beautiful one this podcast. And last time we did it, Dave read it out and I la, which wasn't that satisfactory, was it?
No.
So now Dave is bravely on the guitar going to play...
I don't really remember how it goes, but I'll give it my best shot.
Well, as long as there's some sort of moving, emotional music. And this particular football hour tune is called Polish Promise. I'm not sure that this counts as romantic, but my girlfriend is Polish, and she has given me a list of sexual fantasies that she will perform if Poland wins certain games. So a win against Ecuador is going to be a fun night. This is a slightly old letter, obviously. But, I hope they beat Germany. Ho, ho, ho. And if they qualify from the group stage, I will be the happiest man alive. If they win it, she has said, I can marry her. I pointed out that marriage is not a sexual fantasy. I got the look. Oh, I've just realised that they might end up playing England in the second round. Oh my God, I'm not even going to think about it. Although I guess it's a win-win situation. It's lovely. It's like being in Japan.
Is it finished?
Keep going, honestly.
Sorry, I was writing a full symphony here.
Grasshopper, when you can take the stone from my hand. So, as well as the England game, we went to the opening game.
Yeah, the opening ceremony and all that. We missed the start of the opening ceremony, didn't we?
Yeah, I was a bit, by the time we got up, that there was already men in lederhosen on the pitch,
Yeah.
and some women floating above the pitch who were up there for the whole ceremony.
Yeah, I think they might have been big dandelion seeds. I'm not sure.
That is possible.
Yeah.
Big Dandelion says, wasn't he a wrestler?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, possibly.
Easy, easy.
But
your
yeah,
mate was in it.
incredible.
Wasn't
I wasn't expecting it at all. But well, it's not really my mate. But for those of you who may not have watched the opening ceremony, it closed with a big song or two by a bloke called Herbert von Grönemeyer. I'll say that again, Herbert von Grönemeyer.
Right.
And Herbert von Grönemeyer is the Sting of Germany. He's like a big kind of adult-orientated rock pop star in Germany, but not at all well-known outside of Germany. But he lives in England's Lane, where me and Frank both used to live.
But does he? What number? Oh, you better not say what
I'm
number.
not gonna say what number.
I used to live at number 5.
Yeah, I used to live at number 1, but neither of us live there anymore. But he used to live down the road, and he's a mate of mine. I tell you what, he's quite a German bloke, Herbert von Grönemeyer. He did this very German thing once, which was...
Did you say he's quite a German bloke?
Well, I mean, in the sense that he's a very German. Let me explain that to you.
Okay.
I was at dinner with him once, and there was another bloke, a Dutch bloke called Anton Corbijn, who's a photographer. He takes photographs of U2 and The Clash, quite a trendy bloke, and he thinks of himself as quite hip, right? And he was trying to explain to Herbert the quite famous Carolina Hearn joke when she was interviewing Paul Daniels and Debbie McGee, where she says to Debbie McGee, what attracted you to the millionaire Paul Daniels? And Anton, in a kind of like, I'm a European who understands the British sense of humour, was kind of chuckling about this and saying, you see this joke. And Herbert just didn't get it. And he just said, no, I don't get what is funny about that. And so you see what is funny? And it just went on for literally about 20 minutes. And then Herbert really thought about it and said, so I see, so the answer is sort of already in the question. And didn't laugh about it or anything, just that suddenly occurred to him that I see it's something to do with this. And that is how Germany is.
Well, they like a straightforward form of interrogation normally. They don't like any trick questions.
Yeah.
They're like, who are you? And destroy him. But it was good to see some of the old members of the 66 World Cup team.
Oh, yeah. Always good to see them coming out and being...
I don't know who it was. All I noticed from the screen, it was Ron Flowers and John Connolly.
Yeah, both of whom didn't play in the final.
I think John Connolly played in some early games. He actually said Ronald Flowers as well, which gave him his formal title.
Sir Bobby was there, wasn't he?
Was he? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Sir Bobby was there.
I missed the first names.
Yeah. So, Sir was there, and Bobby and Charlton, they were all there. So Bobby was there with his air of sadness. I may have referred to this before, I can't remember, but I think Sir Bobby Charlton carries around with him a sort of melancholy air of sadness. Yeah. And that I felt was there infusing.
I bet he loves my banjo.
Yeah,
that's got a similar feel to it.
But what we thought about that was the 1966 team. There they were once again, being the 1966 team, which is essentially their life.
Isn't Jeff Hurst?
Yeah.
Does he ever say... Jeff, we wanted to do this interview, and blah, but doesn't he ever say, well, actually, I'm a bit fed up of talking about the World Cup final?
Do you think he says, oh, is it about my time at West Ham? No. Oh, is it about my work, my corporate work? Sid? No. Is it about Yes, it's about the 1966 World Cup final.
They all do it, I've seen a few documentaries, and they all wheel them out and go on and on still.
Yeah, that's what their life is, but, good luck to them. And it was a great...
great they won and all that.
I like the...
Shut up about it.
I'll tell you what I like. The centrepiece of the opening ceremony was the entry of Pele and Claudia Schiffer.
Yes.
Holding hands.
That well-known combination.
Yeah, it all built up to Pele and Claudia Schiffer.
Do you think he said one thing we never mentioned was erection problems to her?
He might have said it to her. I'm sure she could have cured them.
Yeah, she helped mine. But we had a bit of a moment, didn't we, on the way to the ground for the Germany. I keep saying the Germany games. I can't remember who they played.
Costa Rica,
yesterday.
It was Costa
Rica, of course.
That was the opening game. Yeah, we did, because some of you may know that there is a German...
It's great that I forgot that already. Yesterday.
Grandpa's forgotten. Germany, Costa Rica, but as you may know, there is a German version of Three Lions, and they played it like loads before the opening game, but we heard a bit of it, didn't we?
Oh, it was mad. So here we are, we're outside the stadium for the opening game of the 2006 World Cup, and they're playing the German version of Three Lions.
Yeah, this is it. It's in English, but it's called Heroes in Their Shirts or something, isn't it?
Heroes in Their Shirts?
I can't make it out.
It is the
weirdest experience because there's about 400 German fans all jumping up and down and joining in. None of them know who we are.
No, but I'm glad about that.
And we might be massacred.
Here we go.
Hang on.
Okay, listen up, everybody.
This is the strangest experience of my life. This is the strangest experience of my life.
It's coming home. He's coming. Pura vida, Tico, viva Costa Rica! And that, I think, was the Costa Rica version.
Where is football coming home to at the end of the day? Is it coming home to Britain? Is it coming home to Germany?
I think football is some kind of terrible bigamist. You know, this bloke's here might have had 2 homes over the years.
It'll be revealed in the Daily Star any day now.
Oh, well, let's go and watch the match.
I'll tell you something else about the opening ceremony. There was a bit when they had a minute's silence, and I thought, oh, somebody must have died recently, and we don't know about it because we're away in Germany. And it was a minute's silence for those who have been lost from the worldwide football family.
Now, what I thought this was going to be is, if you watch BAFTA or something like that, or the Comedy Awards or whatever, they always have a moment when they say, they stop being funny, and they say, and now let's remember those who have died over this year. And they have some pictures coming up of people who have died, actors most of who you don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what,
and there's always sad music. I love that bit.
I'll tell you what I love about it. There's always people, I think, oh, God, has he died? There are people who died while I was on holiday.
Yeah, or there's people who just didn't really know that they died because they weren't quite famous enough to make the news. But I always love that bit, and it always makes me feel a bit sad in a way that I like. So I thought it was going to be that. I thought it was going to be pictures of George Best and I don't know any other footballers who have died since the last World Cup.
It could have been Ron Greenwood.
Yeah, Ron Greenwood, exactly. I thought it was going to be like a really big thing with lots of that.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be very emotional.
Yeah, or during the silence, I thought they were going to, and then nothing.
It was too general, wasn't it?
For the worldwide football family, that's everyone who's played football who's died in the last 4 years.
Well, anyone who's interested in football.
Basically, it was a silence for everyone who died in the last 4 years.
Everyone basically who is an American or most women.
Yeah, and what's more, a lot of people, and really are very badly observed silence.
Yeah, that was the thing about it. It was the vaguest, least controversial. There was Germans going, oh, she's scheiße. Oh, get on with it.
Yeah, and Costa Ricans thinking, well, I'm going to play me drums in a minute.
People were abusing the worldwide football.
Well, that's
family.
because it's interesting arguing about the general and the specific. You need someone specific. You can't just say everybody who's died, come on, let's remember them. That's not good enough.
Well, it's just too much remembering, that's what it is.
Why is the opening ceremony so dull? I think it could be much better. They could have some naked dancing girls and a big model of Sepp Blatter. They could have some dwarves, Frank McClintock on a horse, perhaps some kind of champagne avalanche poured in the mouth of your gay avalanche. Why is the opening ceremony so dull? I think it could be much more fun. They could dance round a big brown envelope containing an enormous bung. They could have some dwarfs recreate an episode of Inspector Morse. Alright, I'm running out of ideas now. Oh no, what about the works of Chairman Mao, read out by Bunty James of Howe? Okay, we're on our way back from Germany, Costa Rica, and we're with our driver, Bianca, who is kind of is our resident German. Bianca, did you watch the game?
Yeah, the last 20 minutes I have seen.
Okay, and oh, can we turn that off?
Oh, it's the sat nav. I thought it was the...
In case you thought we got an extra German, that was the German sat-nav. Will you go to Links?
And are you very pleased that Germany have won the opening game?
No, because I think about the peoples from Costa Rica, which came a long way, which made a long way over the ocean. They got in jet lag and what else, and was difficult to find a hotel, and they lost the game here.
Well, that's a fantastic attitude.
It is, but yesterday Bianca said to me, these people from Costa Rica must be rich Costa Ricans to come this so far. So you were kind of writing them off as capitalist pigs and friends of the fascist junta, if they've got one of those over there.
Yeah,
now today they're the
junta.
poor people that came across the ocean with jet lag.
Yeah. But it's good that you... Because I, for example, I don't like Arsenal, for example. And whenever we beat Arsenal, I never think, oh, the poor Arsenal fans, they've come so far from Highbury. Poor things, how must they be feeling? I never think that, perhaps I should.
I think I have seen here, after the game, I have seen some very pure Costa Rican people, and I think they live here in Germany. And,
Very pure Costa Ricans.
yeah. I mean pure people, not capitalistic people.
Oh, I see. I see what you mean. Sorry, I wasn't quite sure what you meant. Okay, so, all right, so will you be watching the next Germany game, which is, I believe, against Poland?
I hope they win again against Poland.
Yeah. Why specifically do you hope they win against Poland?
I think the Polish are not fit.
Not fit for what?
Maybe they eat too many dogs.
No, I think that's the Koreans.
Maybe the Vogelgrippe. No, forget it. The flu. The bird flu.
Have they got bird flu in Poland?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, I hope you beat them in that case.
Thank you very much, Bianca, for your insights and thoughts.
Thank you very much.
Has the sat-nav got anything else to say?
Not until we
To
talk.
order Links.
Sorry,
Dort drüben.
sometimes I cannot listen to you because I did watch the police and what they are doing to go.
Although, it would make a good podcast from a German prison.
It would, not if we were being ritually sodomized.
Well, I don't know. We're at the hotel.
It sort of swings and roundabouts, doesn't it?
I don't know what playground you're thinking of.
Hey, it's competition time,
It
Dave.
is, yeah. What can you win, Frank?
You can win. Well, actually, I've been telling everyone they can win a big car,
You can't.
which is the...
You can win
the
an ordinary
Dodge
size car.
Caliber. Well, there's nothing ordinary about
Oh.
the Dodge Caliber, but it's not as big as I thought it was.
Oh, no, it's a fabulous car, obviously. But
What
it's,
it has got, though, I've found out, because I don't want people to think, oh, it's not big, I don't want one. It's sort of average size, but it's got a fridge in the glove compartment.
Yeah, I've heard that, yeah.
But that's a brilliant thing to have, do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I hate it when you put on really hot gloves.
Hot driving gloves.
Yeah, whereas
Yeah.
they'll be lovely, beautifully chilled.
Yeah, it's a beautiful idea. So it's the mystery voice, as you may remember. Anyone who's been listening so far, we're playing 15 voices over the course of these podcasts, and you have to guess who they are. They're all World Cup players.
And you can win a car with a fridge.
You can win a car with a fridge and a great sound system.
So here is mystery voice number 3.
Anyway, my 13 goals. First, it was my hat-trick against Paraguay.
Well, that was him. Quite tough, I thought, that
Well,
one.
the voice isn't that recognisable, but what he says, I think, helps.
Well, just in case you couldn't quite get it from that, we've added a little bit more of that player speaking. Just, I think this may help you a bit more.
The rubber glove scene from the Raiders of the Lost Stars.
Oh, well, that's over-egged the pudding. That's
yeah.
giving it away.
Completely, that's tied it up.
So if you think you know who that is, anyway, make a note of it and then keep a list of all these. And you can win a very nice
Very
car.
nice Dodge Caliber.
I should tell you while we're at it that we've got a website which is www.baddielandskinner.com, and also you can get to us through www.timesonline.co.uk. Oh, this is like being a professional thingy. And there's an answer phone when your actual voice could be on this show. And you have to dial 08706260413.
And you can call that with anything, not just the answers to the competition or whatever. In fact, the real answers to the competition won't happen towards the end of the podcast, when we want you to send in all those players to build up a whole squad. But do send us anything else or phone us with anything you want to say. And now, once again, we have with us our very special guest, Morrissey.
Hello.
Morrissey, I was wondering how you felt halfway through the second half of the England versus Paraguay game about the decision to play Joe Cole in the hole behind Peter Crouch.
Well, I've never been sure about Joe Cole. He's got a slightly big head and his mouth hangs open. But when they play Joe Cole in the hole, I like Joe Cole. I like Joe Cole.
Morrissey, thank you very much. Now, one of the things you may not have seen in this World Cup, if you're watching at home, because it hasn't been as prominent as perhaps it might have been, is the World Cup mascot, who is
goleo?
Yes, a lion called Goleo.
They must have said goleo. Well, surely he's been on the English telly.
Well, he's on German telly quite a lot, but I bet he's not on British TV very much.
He's not that popular in Germany.
No, he's not very popular in Germany.
I heard, and this could be wrong, but I heard that the company that kind of makes goleo has gone bankrupt already. You know,
really?
The World Cup's only just kicked off.
Is he a relation of Nancy Del Golio's? But what he is, for anyone who hasn't seen him, he's a lion. He's a friendly-faced lion with a sort of Germany kit on, I would say.
Well, a Germany shirt
Yeah,
on.
a Germany shirt on and no shorts and socks.
I'm not sure he's even got socks.
No, he has got socks.
But that's the thing. He's got quite a short shirt on. I know he's a lion. Obviously, they haven't put any genitals on him or anything.
Yeah.
But there's a long expanse of fur where the genitals
exactly,
would have been.
Yeah.
And your eyes immediately... Like, there's been one knocking around the ground, and there's so much, like, below-the-belt action
there is.
on.
Also, we should say he's not couchant. He's, whatever the opposite of couchant.
He's rampant.
He's rampant, but you can't tell whether or not he's rampant.
No, he's not
really.
that, no.
He's not very rampant. But it's really... Because clearly they must have thought... It's a serious point, this. They must have thought, well, okay, we don't want to have him with shorts on. I think that's because of the tail, because he has got quite a big tail, and where would that? They'd be all bunched up in the shorts.
Hole in the tail.
Well,
like in the
I know, but they haven't. So
not a hole in the tail, a hole in the shorts.
Well, maybe what they thought is, well, you know, there's a lot of women play football now. We don't want to alienate them, so we'll have an obviously unisex mascot. But all it looks like now is a eunuch castrated lion.
Eunuch.
I couldn't think of what the word is.
Well, there was a bit where the bloke in the mascot suit grabbed, at the opening game, he grabbed somebody right from behind, didn't he, some bloke, and the bloke was obviously uncomfortable. There was an expanse of below-the-belt acrylic fur rubbing against his buttocks. He obviously wasn't happy about that.
What worries me about Goleo as well is that I've got two cats, one of whom is a male cat.
Have you got a lion?
No, but one of whom's a big male cat that has had his bollocks cut off. He's become very fat and just lies about and he's bored all day. I think that's surely what's going to happen to Goleo.
Have you had yours cut off as well?
What do you mean?
Fat,
big fat
lies about all that.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? How dare you?
Anyway, put some shorts on for God's
Yes,
sake.
Goleo, do get some shorts. It's never going to work otherwise. And now, more reminiscences of the 1966 World Cup winning team. Today, Nobby Stiles.
It was a lovely sunny day. Alf said to me, "Have you seen my trilby?"
Nobby,
Yeah?
you mentioned that. You mentioned that already, I think, in your memoir, The Alf I Knew.
Oh well, there's the Blazers. We wore these blue blazers.
Yeah, you've mentioned them, I think, already as well, in that programme on Channel 5. You remember what they wore in '66? So something new, I think, would be good.
Yeah, well, the embroidered badge, though, on that blazer, it was made by a woman called Reenie, and she lived in Basingstoke, right? But her shop, she had this lovely little shop.
In Dagenham, yeah, I remember you said that in your book about the clothes. Your book, remember, Styles of '66. Clever title, but you've said it.
Did you get the title, Styles?
Yeah, I know, it's very good, yeah. But something else, something new that we haven't heard before.
Shall I do me little dance, like with the...
It's a podcast. They can't see you.
Have I mentioned cufflinks?
Yeah, Styles on Style, Chapter 5.
Yeah, but have I mentioned Jack Charlton's cufflinks that he wore on that great day?
Yeah. Well, you haven't mentioned it, no, but Jack's mentioned it in his book, Me and Our Kids' Cufflinks.
Yeah, but I've got a slightly different spin on it, you see.
All right, then.
It was a lovely sunny day, and Alf said to me, "Have you seen Jack's cufflinks?" I said, I haven't, I can't believe it. So we're here now with Roger Boys, the Times German correspondent. He's actually come into Roach's hotel room for a chat, so thanks for that, Roger.
All right.
Roger, you were at the hottest social event in Germany.
yesterday, and that was you went to Prince William's England party.
Yeah, it was surrounded by stables and horses that you could stroke. In fact, there was more space for the horses than human beings, so probably William felt quite at home there.
So there's an element of petting zoo.
Yeah, it was a petting zoo kind of do.
It's surrounded by horses.
Surrounded by horses.
So was it like wagons when in a cowboy film?
Yeah, the Apaches.
Right.
The Apaches all around us in fancy hats. Yeah.
It was just after the game, was it? Or was it during the game, the party?
No, the party was straight after the game.
Right.
I don't know what he went off to. I mean, maybe he went to... his granddad's 85 today, so maybe he went to...
His German granddad.
Yeah, the Prince Philip. That's right.
He's Greek.
He's Greek, he's not German, no.
Yeah. Isn't he? Well, he is German. He's Duke
they're
of
all,
Hesse, isn't he?
They're all German.
They're all German.
Some
they're all
German.
German.
So what was the party like, apart from the horses?
Well, it was the food was good, and it was very sunny and very nice, and full of these kind of corporate kind of sponsorship kind of people who had their hands shaken by William. And William sort of went round and complained about the weather, which is absolutely brilliant, but he blames England's pretty crap showing on the weather, I think. And so that was his kind of tactful alibi way.
That's the party line, isn't it?
That's the party line, because then the ambassador came round straight after him and sort of said, "Oh yes, weather's dreadful. Our boys did very well considering the weather.
Yeah, no, they've really.
So we
gone
were
for
ambushed
the
by the summer weather.
Were there any footballers at the party after the game?
No wives, no footballers, no.
Not even Franz Beckenbauer.
No, not
None
even
at
Franz
all.
Beckenbauer.
We saw Posh Spice being whisked away from the ground, and we presumed she was on her way to William's party.
Yeah, that would have been logical, wouldn't it? Yeah. No, perhaps she had a separate sort of court.
A rival court going on. Yeah. Possibly.
So did you get to meet the prince yourself?
Well, yeah, sort of. I sort of waved, loyally. No, it was all right.
You didn't get the handshake and the small conversation.
The small talk.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well, don't worry, Roger.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I
wish I hadn't brought that up.
But anyway, the food was good. Thanks a lot, Roger.
All right, thanks a lot. Bye.
So that was Baddiel and Skinner's World Cup podcast.
Yeah, it's about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I think the next one is available for uploading or downloading on the web on Tuesday the 13th. Is it?
Or Wednesday. Actually, Frankfurt is on fire outside the hotel. Is that all right?
No, that's fine. That's not a problem.
Anyway, so it's Tuesday what is it?
The 13th.
Or Wednesday
Tuesday
the 14th.
Is the 13th.
Yeah.
Okay. Or Wednesday the 14th.
We'll see you then.
Have a look.
Bye.
See if you can find it and get off our backs. Sorry.
Listen to the unofficial voice of World Cup 2006, brought to you by Times Online and Avalon in association with the Dodge Caliber.